Welcome back to the 12 Weeks of Crafting. I'm Paula and I'm going to take you through another new idea for your festive creating. So what we're going to use is the November stamp of the month. Now this is actually a beautiful snowflake mandala and I am going to transform this into a beautiful poinsettia, which is just another lovely little image that we often see around at Christmas time. So I have actually stamped the main mandala 4 times, 3 times on some patterned red paper and then 1 time on the beautiful pine, the deep pine. So what I have done is I've cut around the outline of the entire snowflake for the first cut, which was in the pine. This time now I am cutting around just a little bit further in, so I'm only taking the larger petals and getting rid of the smaller snowflake elements. So as you can see, when I layer that up, you're just going to have peeping out some of those little green petals. The next piece I'm taking off is a beautiful little scallop that's in the center. So I'm just fussy cutting around that, and that's going to be a third layer on this beautiful little flower. Now this idea came from other makers in our internal maker group. I thought it was absolutely ingenious and I wanted to share it with you. So I'm going to take the last one and go around the circle shape just to finish off the edging. Now by layering up, I'm going to use a little bit of foam tape and you'll be able to see the different shadows between the different layers just to make it look a little bit more realistic. However, to do a little bit more of finishing off, I'd like to get out my black ink and just a sponge dauber and go around the edge of those petals, I guess they are now, just because it gives a little bit more depth to the entire project. I like using the sponge daubers in this instance because it is such tiny little corners that you need to get into. Same again, I'm going around all the different petals and getting that lovely black image. Now to get right into the corners, sometimes I will turn my project over and then really push hard, and I'm using scrap paper under me. It's just a little tip that can get you right into those little spaces. So that's what you see me doing here and there. So this here is just going to be an absolutely beautiful embellishment. You could pop this onto a scrapbooking page, you could pop it onto a card, you could do it as more of a I suppose a project for the wall. You'll see what I do with it at the end, just a couple of those little ideas, and I just thoroughly enjoyed putting this together. What I have done is I like to layer it with thin 3D foam tape so that it is not too bulky. Now just to give a bit of dimension before I layer it all up, I'm using my little embossing tool on a foam surface, and I'm just going around some of the edges and putting some dentations in. This will allow the petals to slightly curl up a little bit and give a bit more life and depth to the whole flower at the end. So it's a really neat way of grabbing a little bit more dimension. So I do that on the larger one, and then I also go around the next scallopy one and pull in a little bit of those little scallop petals around the edge, just by again following the shape with my embossing tool. It's a really cool way of getting a bit more dimension to your projects, but it also makes that realism come through with what you are creating. Now, what I was going to actually mention before is that I love to pair this up with embellishing thread. Just these sorts of things, these sort of projects, having some of that thin sort of thread coming through from behind looks gorgeous. And in this case, I would go for the gold. Now, our embellishing thread is on online only and it's while stocks last, so I would absolutely recommend, if you haven't got any of the gold or the silver, to get your hands on some pretty soon, because I think they won't last forever and they're not in our latest catalogue. It's one of the best little tools that we have in our catalogue, and I wish they they weren't going, but things have to go so that new things can come. So that's just one of the ones that is on its way out. So as you can see, it looks pretty gorgeous all layered up. One reason really just to get the stamp of the month is to make one of these. They are just so pretty. Now I'm going to use a bit of gold glitter pen inside, and then I'm going to scatter over some little gold stars to make the center really shine out. It just looks rather gorgeous in real life. I do add a tiny bit of glue just to make sure that it all sticks, just because the glitter glue is not really a glue itself. So I'm just popping that through in there. We're going to put those little stars on. I'm almost finished with these little thing of stars. Have to get some more, but it does add such a shine to the end. Now you'll see I'll put it onto a little card project that I've already prepared the base for, which is one way you can use this gorgeous little embellishment, but it's also going to look really cute, as I can say, on a scrapbooking page, because it is such a lovely size. So here's the finishing touches, a little bit of that clear shimmer going on the outside edges, and then I will construct my little projects. I hope you enjoyed putting this together, seeing how it all worked. I will be sending out an email to all of my subscribers with a little special promo for the week that goes along with this special. Thanks for watching.